That was too low, 59. It should not be that low. So I'm retesting. If it's still that low, I'm gonna need to take a glucose tab. I'm praying it's not that low. It's dangerously low. Come on, be better. Be better, be better, be better. Okay. 89. Now I don't know which one is right. So I'm gonna take a third reading, but on a different finger. I tell ya, the plight of a diabetic. And I'm sorry the sound is bad. I didn't even put my microphone on. I didn't anticipate this. So I've got a 59 and an 89. I'm gonna test on a different finger one more time just to make sure I'm okay. I don't feel shaky, I don't feel hot, I feel fine. And usually when my blood sugar is dropping too low, my body feels fine. But now I'm just a little worried. So I switched fingers. Okay, kind of looking for an average. This one says 87, so I'm fine. And as a matter of fact, I've been wanting to get lower, so this is great. Friday the 13th is starting off better than I thought. Good morning, everybody. Today's a big day for me. It's Friday, February 13th. That means it is injection number 40 for me. I'm Anissa, and this is my dose, 10 milligrams of Mounjaro. So this morning, I have plenty of energy. I can tell I had a lot of carbs yesterday because my weight today, Friday the 13th, is 4 pounds higher than it was yesterday. So I'm not even counting it. It doesn't count. Anyway, let's get started with injection number 40. I am going to use my left arm. That means I can't do it the way Eli Lilly says to do it, because for your back of your arm, they suggest that you have someone else do it for you. Well, I have to do it for myself. So I have my alcohol wipes and I'm just cleaning a really big area to make sure that wherever I inject, I get it. My results for injecting in my arm seem to be no different than any other place. So I'm going to remove this cap. I can see the medication in. You're supposed to wait until you get the pin on your skin before you unlock it, but I can't unlock it while it is on my arm because I don't know, I just don't seem to be able to do it. So that's why I said I'm not following Eli Lilly's instructions exactly. So I'm going to unlock my pin. Now I'll put it on my arm and I'll push the button. It didn't hurt at all, which is great. I think you're supposed to wait 10 seconds before you take it off. As a matter of fact, I'm sure that I read somewhere to wait. Okay, now I'll take my swab and wipe and see if there's any blood. I see no blood. I have no pain. Today's going to be a good day. Back on track. So after taking my 40th Mounjaro injection, I really didn't expect this moment to feel so, I guess, different, but it really does, because getting this far means more than just changes in my weight. It's been changes in my food choices, in my movement, my habits, my progress, even what I call, I guess, patient in this journey of recovering my health. If you're on a GLP-1 journey too, subscribe. I'm documenting my journey in real time so that you don't have to guess what comes next on each dose. If you saw my first videos, then you know that I had some fear about what taking a GLP-1 was going to be like for me. If I was going to be the one who has the terrible side effect that really prevented me from even considering it. I think it's called gastroparesis, where your stomach just is paralyzed. I heard all the horror stories. So that is what I was thinking about when I first started. It was fear. I could have started so much earlier had I not let the horror stories keep me away from reclaiming my health. If you're watching this before your 40th injection, comment below and let me know what your journey's been. What dose are you on? How many weeks was it what you thought it was going to be? Now, once I probably took my second or third injection and I saw my blood glucose levels coming down from sky high, so high you can't even see my hands, to here, it still was too high when I was on 2.5 in May. And then when I saw my weight and my glucose dropping, I moved from fear to hope. I had a feeling that this was working for me, and I still had a little apprehension because I wondered, how long is it going to work for me? I don't know if you're like me, but I have a habit of starting things and not finishing them. And I just was hoping with fingers crossed that this was not going to be another instance of this. But I could see real progress where I was no longer 205 pounds. I was no longer waking up with fasting glucose so high that my meter could only read the words HI, high. And that meant for the meter that I use, my blood glucose in the morning was over 400, which I don't even know how I'm alive today, honestly. So what have I noticed after 40 injections? I have noticed appetite suppression. And what's interesting about that is although I became very overweight, I was not someone who ate and stuffed myself until I was uncomfortably full. I tended to just eat very high calorie foods and foods with no nutritional value and then not move. And that's a really bad recipe for a diabetic and a bad recipe for someone who is entering menopause. It was just the perfect storm for gaining almost 100 pounds and becoming a raging diabetic. So these injections have definitely suppressed my appetite, but more than that, I feel like it has really, especially since I've gotten on 10 milligrams, suppressed my desire for sweets, my food cravings. Now, I will admit, starting with 2.5 milligrams, I realized, even though I didn't have the terminology for it yet, but I wasn't stopping off at my local Wawa on the way to work and on the way home from work to get snacks all of the time. And once I started watching YouTube videos with other content creators in the GLP-1 space, I realized I had something called food noise, something that I didn't even know existed, where I was thinking about, so school dismisses at 3:35 for me. Before 3:35 came, I was deciding where I was going to stop off on my way home to get a snack or which drive-through I was going to. And I think if I have this right, when you're planning so far in advance what you're going to eat and you're not even hungry, but it's something that you're craving, something that you want, that's probably food noise. So right away, it helped my food noise to really diminish, and probably it saved me some money too because I stopped making all of those pit stops. So that was one big change that I noticed over the 40 injections. Definitely appetite suppression. Another thing is I have a lot less inflammation. My knees don't hurt when I wake up in the morning. My feet don't hurt when I wake up in the morning. I was carrying so much weight. And also, being on this journey, I found that other content creators were using collagen. And I'm going to tell you, 2 scoops of my collagen every day in my coffee, I believe has made a difference in how my body physically feels. I'm almost 55, so almost double nickels. But my body feels as good as it did right now as it did when I was in my 30s. I feel better now than I did for all of my 40s, which is just crazy pills. The biggest thing for me is the reason that I started taking Mounjaro was my blood sugar was dangerously high, and it has stabilized, guys. I moved up to 10 milligrams because my fasting blood glucose was starting to rise on 7.5. 10 milligrams, I think, is going to be my dose because for the first time since I started this journey, in May of 2025, this week, every day when I have taken my fasting blood glucose before 7 a.m., it is under 90. Can you believe that? So it's like a miracle for me, just a miracle. And I also do have much more energy than I did before I started this journey. That's not to say that I have not had bouts of fatigue that was either caused from adjusting to the medication or the medication causing me insomnia. But I have much more energy just to get through my day. And that is so important because even if I'm not engaging in formal exercise, the fact that I can get through the day without being exhausted when I come home is a big win. And I think that is from losing weight, stabilizing my blood sugar, and this Mounjaro reducing the inflammation in my body too. I also have to say my relationship with sweet, sugary treats is also better now. I'm not going to feel guilty about having Valentine's Day treats because I did, but I don't have to take a Valentine's treat and then eat another candy and another like I usually did. The sweets that I ate, it was almost like potato chips where you can't just have one. I wouldn't just have one packet of, what are those, fruit snacks? I'll get a handful of packets and eat them. And then that wouldn't make me full, so I would grab something else that was sweet. It was just a vicious cycle, and this Mounjaro has taken away that desire to even eat that way. So my relationship with food is healthier because I'm not desiring the most unhealthy, savory, or sweet snacks that I did prior to taking this drug. What has surprised me the most is basically how easy it has been, although I've had things that I had to figure out how to make sure I stayed hydrated, how to make sure I got my protein in. It wasn't as hard as I imagined it would be. All of the horror stories I heard never occurred. So that was the biggest surprise for me, that I wasn't a tragedy waiting to happen. No tragedy has happened here. The only tragedy for me was not finding out that I could start this sooner. And I think what beginners should know is your body does have to adapt to this medication, but you're not alone in this journey. Whoever prescribed the medication for you, if you're having any side effects, let them know. And also this YouTube community, just finding other people on this journey, especially the lives that content creators do and you can engage in real time, has really been a help. So if you're new to this, that might be another way to find a sense of community and talk to people in real time who are dealing with the same things that you are. And the main thing is to have patience. I lost 4 pounds between November 1st and the end of January. And then I moved up to 10 milligrams and I lost 4 pounds in the course of a month. So it's not always going to be even. It's not always going to be straight downhill. It might be waves, but as long as your trajectory is going down, then you're meeting with success. You're not always going to get the same results every month. And that's okay. That doesn't mean the medicine isn't working. It doesn't mean that you're not doing everything that you can. So for me, this didn't start at just the 10 milligrams dose and injection number 40. I'm going back to the beginning. I'm going to document my entire dose journey, starting with 2.5 milligrams on Tuesday. See you on Tuesday.